Principally the emission side, the storage, and bluntly, a raw manure is quite a volatile product. It just seems a bit haphazard, really. So I wanted to improve that process. It's something that is common practice in Europe. There's a lot of stuff talked about the benefits of it, but this project was really appealing because it actually gives you some resource to test what you're doing. My name's Will Grant. I work for JEG Farms Limited, which is an arable farming business on the Lincolnshire coast. We are producers of predominantly wheat, soft wheat, which we grow for pet food factory, and we're also growers of sugar beet and spring oats. We've a low cultivation regime business now, direct drilling, controlled traffic. We are using cover crops to protect our soils in the winter and hopefully maintain fertility.
I'm Daniel Kindred, agronomic researcher with the Agronomy Research Circle. This is a project where Will Grant, the farmer here, contacted me out of the blue. I'm a registered facilitator for Adopt. Will has access to 3,000 tonnes of cattle manure. At the moment, most of that they're using and applying raw. There's potentially a whole load of benefits from composting that, from a soil health perspective and from a logistics perspective, and nutrient and the retention of carbon in the soil, weed burdens, all these different things. But there's really not a lot of farmers doing composting in the UK at a large scale because it's quite an involved process. You've got to turn the compost over frequently, and the machines that are available are quite small. It takes a long time, it's a lot of effort, and they're expensive.
I'm Philip Gilbert. I have a calf rearing unit. We take calves in at 2 weeks old and keep them on farm to 10 to 12 weeks. We currently have capacity for 1,600 head of calves, moving up to 2,400 from the spring. So our farm is purely shed based, so all of our muck for straw is swapped with JW Grant. It's all a closed loop, all of our muck goes to them and all of their straw comes to us.
I'm Simon Cowell. I farm in Essex, out on the Essex coast. I've been direct drilling for 22 years and running a sort of what they call regen farming system. Part of that has been making my own compost, which I've been doing for about 15 years. I bought an old second-hand compost windrow turner for very cheap money. I've been composting horse muck and anything I can get hold of, really, wood chip, green waste. I get quite a lot of visitors around the farm looking at my direct drilling and my farming system, and I always show them the compost I've made and sometimes the compost turner working. Usually visitors go home thinking they want to start doing the same thing themselves, and they have a look round and then realise how much these compost turners cost, and they're sort of six-figure sums, really cost prohibitive. For a long while I wanted to sort of redesign the machine and make it more affordable. Mine's sort of all singing and dancing, complicated bit of equipment really, but there's lots of things about it that could be simplified and made simpler and cheaper, and so when Will just wanted to copy it, I thought it was a good opportunity to redesign the whole thing and see if we could make it affordable.
Will is just really keen, and that's the great thing about Adopt, is that there's this kind of pool of really enthusiastic, interested, innovative farmers out there who want to try new things, want to do new things, want to test things on their farm. And Adopt is the first real opportunity I think they've got to actually kind of unleash that potential and get farmers to do what they want to do.
So this bit of kit, if you imagine you lay your manure out in a row, and then all a compost turner is really is a hoop with a rotor, and that goes along the row and it mixes it up. It really is as simple as that. It's about maintaining a volume of material, to allowing the air to get through, but also to allowing the heat to build, and turning it so the material is homogenised. It's really pretty basic.
But the sort of two things from compost, it's stabilising the organic matter so that if you spread manure on a field, most of the carbon disappears back into the atmosphere. But by composting it, you're stabilising it, and so when you put it on the soil, you're literally raising the organic matter levels in the soil. But the other more interesting part is the biological inoculation you get with compost. So we've got a very poor soil that's just been abused over years. You can sort of inoculate it and rejuvenate the biology in the soil with the compost.
The reason we've got involved in Adopt is because we wanted the opportunity to actually prove to ourselves that if we wanted to start to process manures and apply compost, can we actually comprehensively quantify what that benefit is to the business, to the soils, and to have some confidence in that. This project will, I hope, provide us with that. It's going to give us an opportunity to really thoroughly investigate this practice and hopefully demonstrate to others that, you know, it's possible to see improvements in your soil fertility, your soil health, and as a result in your yields.
Local farms could all share the machinery because although you might have to turn a windrow every day, it's only half an hour, so someone could go around and do quite a few different farms.
I found Adopt, it must have been in the farming press, maybe. I can't remember now, but I thought brilliant. There are so many things that I want to find out. There are so many unanswered questions. And I think as farmers, you're running experiments every year, and there are things you don't understand, and it's actually quite demoralising. You know, so much of farming is observation, but then if you haven't got the explanation, it's all quite unrewarding. And so I thought, brilliant. This is a really useful programme that hopefully will start answering some questions.
I've been wanting to do something like this for a long while, but on my own I haven't got the resources or the time to do it, and it wasn't till Will contacted me and said that we could get funding to go ahead with this, that I was really keen to help him.
Farmers, I don't think, are particularly good. Whilst we do experiments, we do mental experiments. We're like, yeah, we'll do a bit over there and a bit over there, and did I switch the sprayer on over there? I can't remember. What was the cultivation on regime on there versus there? Can't remember, don't worry about it. You know, you need someone that's like, this is how you actually design an experiment, which is you can have confidence in the results that are generated from your treatments. Like, that's quite key, I think. So you need money for that. Someone's got to help you with that. Like, we don't know what to do there.
Everything that anyone else is doing in the project should be helping you achieve what you want to achieve. Will is dead keen. He was dead keen. He wasn't patient enough to wait for the facilitator support grant to go through that process. He just wanted to do it. So Will actually just paid me 3 or 4 days consultancy time to help him submit the proposal. I've been developing this idea with Simon Cowell for a compost turner, and he wants to just make that happen. Yeah, he wants to make that happen as soon as possible, so we can get compost applied, you know, in spring 2026. To do that, we're going to have to get through a sequence early as possible, so we want to get the project started. So that's the really exciting thing about Adopt. It should be empowering farmers, groups of farmers, you know, working together to test what works on their farm. It can be really simple. Yeah, it doesn't have to be some whiz bang, you know, bit of new technology. It can be just an idea.
This grant allows you to actually get some resource to investigating. You're not only getting proper procedures around data collection, but then you're getting the analysis, and then we've got access to someone who is very technically skilled. So I think that gives us then the confidence. Furthermore, reduce your emissions profile, and you know, we've all got to be a bit more careful, or we've all got to be more thoughtful about, as a sector, the emissions that we produce, and particularly runoff and what's getting into the waterways, and anything that we can do to try and mitigate that, I think we should be doing. So that's a big driver of why we want to do this.